Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we have another 3v3 Iron Man, and it's $300 per team, so the winning team will win 300 and the losing team will lose 300. Also, make sure to go ahead and check out the Coliseum Discord, link down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check out the place that's hosting all these Iron Mans, 4-person tourneys, wagers, anything like that. Make sure to go ahead and check them out, and with that being said, let's hop right in. So we're going to see Franco Persano versus Actually King of Games. And then we will go ahead and we are going to see Actually King of Games when the rock, paper, scissors, shoot and decide to go first. 40 versus 40. Gotta love to see it. Opening hands, we have Droplet, Dark Ruler, Snake, Torn Scales, and Fusion Destiny. So I wonder if they're actually playing hand traps in their list or just hard going second cards. It wouldn't surprise me if there was just like 3 Imperm, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Droplet. And they have Nerval, Droplet, Fractal, Foolish, and Imperm. So we can see that it is Tri-Brigade versus Phantom Knight. Also, this is post-boat. I literally always forget to say that. But they're going to go ahead and Fractal effect. Discard itself, dump Kit, Kit dump Nerval, Nerval add Fractal. And then normal summon Fractal, Fractal effect. Banish 2 from the graveyard, special summon out the Blossom, Blossom effect to special summon out the Nerval from the hand, and then they're going to link those off for silver, Blossom effect to draw and put back, draws Droll and Lockbird and put back. This is a card that I've been seeing in the main deck more and more. It's kind of interesting post-boat because it's, Droll is a very format-dependent card. So it's interesting to see everyone play it, but it's definitely like very good versus like the heavy combo decks. Like Drytron, Dragon Link, even though I think we're going to be seeing less Dragon Link as time goes on. It's decent versus stuff like Tri-Brigade. You can stop them from getting Bear Bloom because they Nerval Search, no Bear Bloom Search. Against Phantom Knights, it's very meh. It's not the greatest. But they're going to go ahead and now get their Bear Bloom effect, Search, Revolt, put back Droll, set pass, draw Dark Ruler. So they're going to go ahead, Dark Ruler, trade with Appaloosa, normal Torn Scales, on the summon, activate Revolt. I definitely agree with this. Just, go ahead, out Torn Scales, force your opponent to have multiple extenders to keep going, or force them to have a way to stop the Omen, which in this case they do. So they're going to still get the Nerval Search, and then Torn Scales, discard the Snake, and then they're going to chain Imperm on that. Snake will still summon itself back out though. Very good discard, obviously. And then get rid of those, go for the Cherubini. Cherubini effect, dump Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak to go search out Boots. Torn Scales, summon itself out. And then special summon out Boots, overlay these for a Break Sword. Break Sword effect, try to pop itself in the Droplet. So this is definitely a point to think at here. If you chain Droplet to stop Break Sword from getting destroyed, then they don't get to go ahead and summon 2 back from the graveyard. But they still have the Break Sword on field, which can allow them to still go. So they are going to decide to go ahead and chain Droplet, and that will... Alright, so they're going to negate Cherubini. They're going to let Break Sword go ahead and still do its thing. So Break Sword and Omen. Omen, go search out from the deck to the hand. They're going to grab Kuraz. This is good follow-up there. But, Phantom Knights are kind of popping off here. They're going to summon back out, turn those into a Rusty effect to go ahead, and they're going to dump Ragged Gloves, set Shade, then activate Shade, overlay for the Evil Swarm Nightmare, which is decent. It does shut off 1 extender at least. Against this deck in general, Evil Swarm Nightmare isn't the greatest, just because normal summon Tri-Brigade, banish summon from extra deck, you can't set that. But they will have Fogblade for 1, or Hero for 1, and then Evil Storm Nightmare can stop a Kuraz. Banish Boots, go search Fogblade, and then Ragged Gloves to dump Wings. And then they're also gonna have Wings to go ahead and summon out Break Sword to Rusty, so that way they can get Rusty pops. So they're definitely winning this. Yeah, they admit defeat. Moving on into the next game, we are going to see the Tri-Brigade player go first. Opening hands, we have Shade, Storm, Dark Ruler, Boots, and Ancient Cloak. So this is good. It's actually really good. They can, out the board and then go ahead and combo. And this is also a pretty good combo too. Having like Ancient Cloak Boost, that allows you to play through hand traps fairly well. And then they have Fractal, Imperm, dotKuro, Nib, and Foolish. Okay, so they are playing dotKuro. This is probably just a one-of, so that way you can go ahead and search it off of the Omen. And then they're going to go ahead and activate the Foolish Burial, dump Kit, dump Nerval, add Kuraz, and then normal summon Fractal effect, banish from the graveyard, banish 2, special out Blossom effect, special Kuraz, link those away, go for silver, Blossom effect, draw, put back. Oh, there. Okay, that also explains dotKuro. It's also searchable off the Bird engine. It looks like they're playing a bigger Tri-Brigade engine and a smaller Bird engine, which is something that I haven't got to in testing with this deck yet. I haven't tested this deck very long yet. Like post Synchro Storm, I haven't tested like the Bird up deck very much, but I can definitely see why they're doing this. A lot of the times when I'm playing the Tri-Brigade Bird deck, I get to points to where like I just always have these random birds in my hand that don't actually do anything at in a lot of positions. It's like, oh, my bird stuff will do something if my Tri-Brigade effect resolves. And it's like at that point, like I could just be playing Tri-Brigade. And then also the build that I'm playing right now doesn't go for Revolt because it sets up like berry things. And I think Revolt is just so good because Revolt helps you play around stuff like Dark Ruler and Droplet. And then also still gives you follow-up. Like, Revolt's obviously an insane card. And the fact that you can get to it every single game through your extra deck is also insane. Bear Bloom, go search Revolt, and then they're going to put back dotKuro, set, pass, draw Stained. So they're going to Lightning Storm the back row, activate Revolt to go ahead, summon, and then get rid of those, go for the Omen, and then Nerval effect to search, and then now we'll go ahead and grab the kit. Also, putting the Omen on board is very good here because after they nib, they can go search an interruption if they want to, or they can go search like a, Kuraz, they can search multiple things. Dark Ruler, negate, and then they're going to normal summon, special summon, and then get rid of those. Go for the Cherubini effect, dump the Ragged Gloves, and then they're going to activate Shade, should be in defense, doesn't matter. Special summon out Stained. On that summon, they're going to activate Nib, which they have summoned enough, Boots, Cloak, Shade, Cherubini, Stained. Let me check timers because I waited quite a bit, and you said think after I sent my monsters from field. I was looking at your graveyard. Super sus. I'm curious. How long did it actually take? So, they went ahead, declare Cherubini, dump, activate Shade, special summon out Stained, waited 11 seconds, sent them. As they were sending them, said think, sec. They could have been thinking that they were going for a rusty play. I don't know why you'd special summon that Stained if you're going for a rusty play. But, alright, they're going to go ahead, drop Nib, and then Omen effect to go search. Omen will be grabbing the dotKuro from the deck to the hand, so they still have another interruption. But, they have a lot here, it's not like they're struggling for resources. Ragged Gloves to go dump. Then that's going to dump the Wings. dotKuro will activate here on Ancient Cloak. They're going to chain Wings, special summon out Ancient Cloak. They just set up like Hero now. Like they have Hero Fogblade. Go for Link Spider. Get rid of those. Yeah, it gets banished because summoned off Wings. And the opponent knows they're playing this. Like they got hit with Fusion Destiny game 1. It's the last play. Summon out Enforcer, Boots to go search out Fogblade, and then set the Fogblade, Enforcer, pop, pass turn, draw Fractal, So, you know, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So, they're going to go ahead and start off by normal summon kit. They have to Enforcer here. If they Fog Blade, the opponent could go for an Amirage and then grab an Extender. And then Enforcer wouldn't be able to out the Extender because of Amirage. So they have to Enforcer here. And then Enforcer effect, Kit effect, dump Nerval, grab Fractal. And then they are just going to pass, draw E-Telly. Enforcer will summon itself out. Activate E-Telly, summon out Psychic Tracker. And then Celestial effect to draw. That draws into a Lightning Storm and Dark Ruler. Oh, those are pretty whack draws there, I'm not going to lie. And then they're going to go ahead and just battle phase, attack, getting some very good damage in there, and the opponent will admit defeat. I guess that they realize like Fogblade Enforcer is kind of hard to beat. Like, fair enough, but we got to see, it wasn't even really like Bird Tri-Brigade. I mean, it was Bird Tri-Brigade, but we only saw Tri-Brigade part. But going on to the next game, we're going to see Franco Persano versus That's Game, Gabe. Then we will go ahead and we will see Franco in the rock, paper, scissors, shoot, staying consistent with the paper. I like it. 40 versus 40. Gotta love to see it. Opening hands. We have Graph, Boots, Dasher, E-Telly, Nib. Weird hand. And then they have Vishuda, Adara, Nib, Draw, Imperm. Multiple hand traps in this hand. Also, interesting that they're playing Nib in this deck. You know, Nib's Nib. It's definitely a hand trap. But it does mess with the tennies quite hard. So activate E-Telly. Summon out the Wielder there. Then normal out Boots. Turn those into Cherubini. Cherubini, dump the Torn Scales. Boots, go search Fogblade. Torn Scales, summon itself out. So they're going to chain the draw and Lockbird in response to the Torn Scales effect to summon itself out. Also, by the way, this is summon 4. And then Torn Scales effect, discard Graph, dump Wings, Graph effect to special summon out Seer. And then they're going to get rid of those, go for Rusty, Seer effect, special out the Cherubini. Rusty effect, chain Imperm on that. And then get rid of those, go for Anaconda, on the summon, activate Nib. Yeah, you definitely do that on the summon there. I mean, the thing is like, you know, they got hit with triple hand traps with a weird hand, and they still have follow-ups through their engine next turn of Wings, summon out Rusty. The Boots still grabbed a Fogblade, which is an interruption. Pass, draw Vishuda, and they drew 3 tennies after they dropped Nibs, so they're just not playing. End phase Wings, summon out Rusty, draw Fusion Destiny, and then they're going to activate Rusty effect, dump Ancient Cloak, set Fogblade, and then activate Fusion Destiny, go ahead, dump the bricks, summon out Enforcer, and then battle phase, Enforcer effect, pop itself, pop Nib, Enforcer Graveyard effect, and then Rusty attacks. So we see them decide to not go ahead and, like, you know, they could, like, Cloak, Banish, grab Torn Scales or something. Torn Scales, discard Nib, go dump. I don't even know, like Boots, Shade. I mean, they could like put up an IP or something, but there's no point of that. You don't need to like extend past the point you need to. They have amazing follow-ups at this point. They have Nib, which can still interrupt the opponent. If they never drop Nib, they can't Celestial at this point. They could still Torn Skills a future turn to discard this. But they're in a very good spot. Another go ahead, draw Mo Yi, and then Enforcer come out. And they are going to say think and admit defeat. So they didn't reveal what deck they're on. They did show 3 hand traps, but doesn't show anything. Going on to the next game, we're going to see Sword Soul go first. Opening hands, we have Fogblade, E-Telly, Droplet, Nib, and Boots. And then they have Adara, Celestial, Vishuda, Anti-Spell, and Sudden Shift. So They were playing the tennies and the hero stuff, which is actually something that I tried out before. I've tried out like every build of this deck, seriously every build. Like I've tried out the True King build of this deck. I haven't tried out the Virtual World build. That's one build I haven't tried out just because I know I'm not gonna like that build. I already know. But this, like, the tennies and the heroes somewhat conflict. You know, the tennies lock you in the worms. The heroes aren't worms. The heroes, if you activate them, lock you in the heroes. The tennies aren't heroes, so like they kind of mess with each other. And also, the deck doesn't really need the hero stuff. And with the hero stuff, you're kind of just adding 2 bricks into the deck. And you know, bricks are not fun. Bushuda summon itself out, normal summon out Adara, and then they're going to get rid of those, go for the synchro effect to go search, and then that will grab the Tai, and then set sudden shift, set anti-spell, pass play, draw droplet, and they're going to flip anti-spell there, in response, chain E-Telly, and then in response, chain droplet, get rid of E-Telly to negate that. I'm getting some major deja vu right now, like, I swear this exact game state has happened like a month ago. Like, this exact thing. Like, E-Telly, chain droplet, anti-spell, synchro there, 1 set, Bushuda in graveyard. That's, like, this Iron Man, like, just got sent in. So there's no way it's an old one. But this is, like, the exact thing. Summon out Tracker, battle phase, attack that. You know, they can just beat over, it's halved. Playing around sudden shift very well too. Normal summon boots, and then they're going to turn those into a Cherubini effect, dump Torn Scales, boots, banish, and we're going to see them at their feet. They said sudden shift question mark? Yep. Next opponent is actually Jamal Brooks. Okay. So, will we see Franco go ahead and sweep here? So we're going to see Franco versus actually Jamal Brooks. And then we're going to see Franco win the rock, paper, scissors, shoot and decide to go first. 40 versus 40. Gotta love to see it. Opening hands. We have Torn Scales, Fusion Destiny, Boots, Nibs, Psychic Wielder. You know, that's a good hand to try to get that sweep. And then they have Scythe, Boots, Psychic Tracker, Boots, Fusion Destiny. Okay, so we're going to have the Phantom Knight mirror match. Also, they are main decking the artifact stuff. So if you're wondering, like, why are they playing Scythe in their deck? That's weird, Grinder. But it's actually going to become a lot more staple as time goes on, I think. Or a lot more people are going to play it at least, or test it out. So you can summon Dagda, set Scythe, and then you can trigger Scythe on the opponent's turn through either Rusty, you know, summon back out Breaksword, Rusty, pop Scythe, or you can go Phoenix Enforcer, pop Scythe, and then they have to out the Dagda that turn. Otherwise, on your follow-up turn, if you don't end the game, then you can summon Scythe again by destroying Dagda. So, it is a combo. A lot of people don't main deck it, though. A lot of people just side into the 1 Scythe. So they're going to normal summon, special summon, and then get rid of those. Go for Cherubini effect, dump Graph summon Seer. No, the opponent has no going second cards here. They're going to turn all those into an Appaloosa. Seer, special summon Cherubini, Boots, go search Shade. Torn Scales effect, special summon itself out. Set, activate Shade. Get rid of those, go for Rusty effect, dump Ancient Cloak, set Fogblade. Ancient Cloak, banish itself, go search out Boots. Special summon out Boots. Yeah, they haven't... Wait, did they start off with that? No. Because they... Wait, did they? What did they start with? I actually forget. I literally can't remember. I don't know why. Guess we gotta go back to the beginning. Normal summon Torn Scales, special summon Boots. They did. Okay. I don't know why. I just completely forgot. Torn Scales effect, discard Boots to go dump the wings, banish wings, special summon out Boots, overlay those for a Breaksword to where Rusty points to, Rusty, pop it, Breaksword, summon back. And then they're going to overlay, go for Evil Storm Nightmare, activate Fusion Destiny, go ahead, dump, summon Enforcer, pass. So you know, they have Appaloosa, Phoenix Enforcer, Evil Storm Nightmare, Fogblade, Fogblade go to Graveyard, Fogblade summon Breaksword for Rusty, Nib, insane follow-ups. Like, come on now, this is nice. They draw E-Telly. And then they just submit the fee without showing what deck they're on. Going on to the next game, we are going to see them decide to go first. Opening hands, we have Dark Ruler, Fogblade, Snake, Ancient Cloak, Rhoda. Dark Ruler isn't going to do too much versus the opponent's strategy because they have the artifact stuff. And then they have Shade, Tour Guide, Gloves, Seer, and Tour Guide. So normal summon Tour Guide. Tour Guide effect a special summon out from the deck, and then that's going to bring out Graph. Go for Cherubini. And then Cherubini effect, so, you know, we know they're not on Skarm. Most people cut Skarm when they're playing, like, all this other stuff. They're going to dump Stained. And then Seer effect, summon itself out. Get rid of those, go for a Rusty, and then Rusty effect, so Rusty will dump and set. They're going to set Fogblade by dumping the Torn Scales. And then activate the Stained effect, banish the special summon out Ragged Gloves, Torn Scales effect, summon itself out, Torn Scales, discard Tour Guide, go dump the Ancient Cloak, reject Tour Guide. Go ahead, Ancient Cloak, banish itself, go search out the boots, and then overlay those for the Sea Dragon. Sea Dragon effect, summon out the Ancient Cloak, set and activate Shade, and then turn those into the Dagda. Ancient Cloak effect on Rusty, Dagda to go ahead and set the artifact from the deck there. And then special summon out Boots, they haven't done it this turn. And then go ahead, go for Breaksword, Rusty effect, pop Breaksword, Breaksword effect, summon back out, and then they're just going to slap those into the Anaconda. Anaconda, pay 2k, dump the Fusion Destiny and the bricks, and then summon Enforcer. They're going to activate Ragged Gloves there to banish and dump Fogblade. And then activate Boots effect, banish itself, and go grab Fogblade. And then set Fogblade, end phase, Enforcer, pop Anaconda, Enforcer effect, pass, draw Ancient Cloak, standby phase, this comes back. And then also during the standby phase, they're going to Fogblade to summon out the Breaksword. Also, whenever you get to do like that play right there of Fogblade summon Breaksword, even if the opponent has droplets, they have to have droplets and a trap. Otherwise, what will happen is you banish Fogblade, summon Breaksword, Rusty effect, target artifact. If the opponent goes ahead, you know, they chain droplet there. Droplet, discard blank amount of cards to try to go ahead and negate like the Enforcer and the Rusty that is trying to pop the artifact. Then they can chain Fogblade, and then in response to Fogblade, chain Enforcer to pop. So it's pretty good, you know. You put your opponent on like droplet with trap, kind of like how Virtual World did back when they had VFD. And now going on to the next game, we're going to see Franco decide to go first. Opening hands, we have Nib, Tracker, Boots, Torn Scales, Junk Forward. I like the Junk Forward as like the most of the time when you're building this deck right now, I feel like you get to choose like one warrior extender that you want to have in the list with like the Rhoda. And Junk Forward I think is just very solid. And then they have Dasher, Tour Guide, Gamma, Boots, and Shade. So they have one going second card, special summon, normal summon, special summon. Imagine like special summon, just summon everything. Go for Cherubini, Cherubini effect, dump Graph, Graph summon Seer. And then they're going to get rid of all those. Go for Appaloosa, Seer effect, summon out the Cherubini, Boots, banish, grab Shade, activate, Torn Scales, summon itself out. And then Shade summon. Think on Torn Scales, they say. Alright, so yeah, they're going to let that go through. So summon out Torn Scales, Shade, summon itself out, get rid of those, go for the Rusty effect. They're going to chain Gamma there. Do you Appaloosa negate this? Like, if you let this go through, you could still end on, like, Hero Appaloosa, which is pretty good. If you negate this, then you get to, like, dump and set. But, like, you know, Gamma's still going to come up later then. So, like, are you just going to Appaloosa negated again, because you know you get Rusty effect to like set Fogblade, which is solid. You're not putting all of your interruptions through monsters to play into like a Dark Ruler or Droplet. But I mean, not all the interruptions, they'll still have Nib, but like the field interruptions. So they're just gonna let this go through. Alright, go ahead, destroy, summon. Special summon out the Psychic Tracker, overlay those, go for the Sea Dragon for boots, and then get rid of those for Anaconda. And then Anaconda effect, pay 2k, dump the Fusion Destiny and the bricks, summon out the Enforcer, and then pass turn. So they have follow-ups here, you know, Boots, Torn Scales, Celestial, Enforcer's a follow-up play, pass, draw Nib, and then that could have been pretty solid last turn. If they had that like over Dasher, they could have been like, oh, Nib effect. And the opponent would have went, oh, chain Appaloosa, and then they chain Gamma and out everything anyways. And then they'd have like a tracker and Nib in hand with nothing else. Normal summon Tour Guide effect, chain Appaloosa, negate that. Like once again, reject Tour Guide. Set, activate Shade. On that summon, they're gonna enforce or pop. Is there a reason why they're doing this? That does play... Okay. So that plays around Boots. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, so that plays around Boots. Then Enforcer Graveyard effect. And we see them in mid-defeat there, so they're showing the hand. Said, oh, let's go 6 card, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious it was a 6 card. Run back or what? No way. 3:30 a.m. Did 2 Ironmans in a row. I'm asleep. Good night. Fair enough. Well, we do see Franco, even at 3:30 a.m., they sweep their opponents. They absolutely just won this 3 matches in a row with the Phantom Knight strategy, a strategy that a lot of people are still sleeping on. I think recently people have been like picking up on, oh, this is like, you know, a real deck. This isn't like some whack random strategy. So I'm happy to see this deck be played more. It's a cool deck to see too, especially because like every time they get hand trapped, they can still have like a Fogblade for Rusty or something. Like they still have Fogblade to interrupt the opponent, and then like the Fogblade goes to graveyard to summon Rusty, and it's like that's so good. It's so good. But we'll see this deck get optimized as time goes on, and with that being said, you know, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Make sure to go check out the Coliseum and have a nice day.